Hey guys, what's up? We're back. Yeah, so it's been a while. We're finally kind of recuperating from the racing. I'll be honest, I've been working a lot. So I've been really working hard this week on trying to get ready for this weekend. This weekend we are racing in Abilene. So a couple of videos back, I had a car that I built, which was a Midget, for a buddy of mine who had X-ray converted cars and wanted a Midget, had an extra car laying around. So I built one out of an X-ray car that I had that was converted, and I had no need for it. So I decided, like, hey, perfect time to get rid of it, and we'll throw it on one of my chassis. Let's take a look at it. All right, so what we got here is the X-ray Midget that I built for a buddy of mine. This is my car, and I rendered the chassis off of my car, and I sent him the chassis and the shock towers and everything. I told him what I used from the original conversion car to help save some money, and this is what we came up with. I only ran it a couple of times just to try it out, just see what it do. Really didn't get much results. Has adjustable arms, which you're not supposed to use, so it was really kind of hard to judge what we have done. All right, so let's be honest. I think the Midget looks cool. I like any cars. Anything that's associated with the real thing is pretty cool. Now, it's bad enough that I already have a lot of cars. It's kind of hard for me to justify, like, hey, let's build a Midget. That's something else. You got to put an ESC, batteries, tires. But at the end of the day, I really want one. And so I know that I wanted to build one. But at the same time, a couple of buddies of mine hit me up and said, hey, I would like to have a Midget. But what really started is, like, a couple of weeks past, maybe even a month from now, I had built another late model for my buddy Eric. And I recently learned how to use the machine really good, Silky's old router, CNC router, whatever you call it, by utilizing the right programs. I was using the wrong program. So that's what was killing my tooling, my router motors. It was just not working right. And I finally decided to sit down and learn how to use the other program, which is Cut 2D Pro. Now, it's a little intimidating, but once you figure out, it's like actually a really good, easy program. Now, granted, all of the stuff that I'm telling you, I've had to learn on my own. Yes, YouTube videos. I have asked questions to other people reaching out who I know cut using this same type of machine. But obviously, when you are learning probably something yourself, it's not something you just want to always just share, which is fine. I don't need a step-by-step deal. I just need a little couple of tips. And one of the biggest deals that I learned is the tooling. So I figured out how to use it. I built the car for my buddy Eric, and then I had this deal, like, I want to build a Midget. Then I talked to another buddy of mine, Roy. He was like, hey, I told him I was building a Midget. Like, I want one too. He fronted the money up for me to build it. And then somebody else reached out to me and said, hey, I want a Midget too from the Houston area. I'm like, dang, so I need to build a Midget. So I will be honest, I have no reason to, I'm transparent. They fronted the money, like, hey, we want one. So I was like, dang. So I started on the car before I left. I started cutting it out, designing it. And if you're not familiar with my process, if you've watched other videos, I try not to use so much carbon, because carbon is expensive. I've been fortunate to have lasers here, so a laser cut's really accurate. So I use cardboard as my starting deal. So essentially, the car will start out in a piece of cardboard just like this, right? So I cut all the holes out, everything that I want, lay it out. I'll actually grab the components of the RC car, put it on there. Everything turns out, I put in acrylic, which then this turns out to be like this, acrylic. 3 millimeters, hard enough, stiff enough for me to be able to mount the component. I can build a whole full roller, which I did, with the shock towers. I got the rear shock tower right here. Put it together in the chassis form, a roller. I'll put a picture of how it looks like. And after that, everything is centered dead, everything is good. Cut carbon, one time. Now, the only time I would probably have to cut it again is if I screw up with the programming. fortunate enough, I think I got that down pretty good. So that's where we're at. So now we're back from Chilibowl. These guys have upfronted the money for the car, but I don't feel comfortable sending a car without trying it. It sounds a little selfish, but at the same time, I want to be able to send them something that's like, let's go. So this is where we're at. All right, so excuse the mess. It's full-blown workshop. We got chemicals in here. We are full-blown into this deal. And this is what we got right now. So this is the newest Midget that I have created. Acrylic has turned into carbon. I've even ordered stand-ups. I've ordered these knurled knobs. Trying to think ahead. It's not maybe the most practical setup, but it is why it's pretty much ready to go. Now, my goal is, where we're at now is like we got the car roller, we put the motor in, got the ESC in. I just bought some more double-sided tape, got it all binded up. We know it works. So the game plan now is we're going to secure this down. I used to just like roll these up and zip tie like, oh yeah, it looks good. No, it looks like a rat's nest. So what I like to do is I'll actually grab these cables, shorten them, and I can show you the tools that I used. And then secure it nice and neat. We're going to go ahead and break in the transmission, the diff. Once all that's set, we'll put it on the, I don't know what you call it, the setup station. Get it all the camber, all the towing, everything set right. And then we will put the body on. I will actually make my own body, the side panels at least. I think we're going to have to try to make this too. Obviously, there's some rules that you can't have this closed, so we're going to go through all of that. I have ordered a square tank. I think that looks pretty cool. But this is where we're at. Yeah. So today is Wednesday. I just pulled a 16-hour shift at work. Come home, eat dinner with the kids, family. Kids are now asleep. Wife is going to sleep. I want to be in a garage here for a little bit. I want to try to get all the electronics, everything mounted, done. So like that, tomorrow, the plan is put the cage on it and then start cutting side panels for it. Try to get the body done, and we'll throw some traditional white and black paint, put it on the setup station, and then we're off to the races. That is the plan. Now, yeah, that's we're gonna throw it right in the fire. There's gonna be a lot of races in Abilene. It's the Brisket Bowl, and this would be a good test to see how the car does. I was really kind of up in the air about sharing this, but my deal is to be transparent. This is what I'm doing. I like building stuff. I like creating stuff. I really appreciate the guys who have put their faith in me to build them the cars. But I want to do the due diligence, and I want to try the car out and send them a decent product. And then we'll go from there with their feedback, with the late model, the Midwest model I created for Kevin and these 2 midgets, maybe 3 because I want to have one for myself. We should have some pretty good input on what we need to do to revise the car and make it better. So today is Wednesday. We're going to do this. We'll catch up. We'll pick this back up tomorrow. All right, so it's still the same day. I was going to pick up this up tomorrow, but I want to go ahead and come through, finish this off. That's how I have it wired. As you can see, now we have nice short runs, nice and tight, nice and clean. Yeah, battery fits in there pretty good. This battery is years old, still been a good battery. It does have a little puff, but it's a little tight, but it should be really good for another battery. I'll throw another battery in it that I have that's not puffed up and see if it fits right. I was thinking about adding a liner, put it right here, pretty much trace the whole area of where the battery goes, so like that it doesn't scratch the chassis up. There's a couple of items, other spacers that we need to create. Right here, the You can't tell right now because I have the screws in it, but this, for some reason, sits a little higher than this. So I don't want to cause any kind of binding. So I'm going to create a spacer for this. All right, so another thing that I want to start doing is kind of creating some panels, some bodies and stuff. I actually want to get into like molding some bodies, but that'll be later on. But for right now, another arsenal that we added to our tool list is 3D printing. My buddy Kevin, a while back, let me borrow a 3D printer, but it was a little bit older, and it took a lot. It takes a lot just to get it going. But here recently, my son has gained interest in 3D printing. So for Christmas, we bought him some 3D printers. Actually bought both of them, one for each son, a 3D printer. So that's actually been working pretty good. I've actually done some 3D printing and designing and stuff myself. But that's just another obstacle that we got to go through because it's more time behind the computer to be able to create all of this stuff. But I do want to create a couple of 3D printed items for the Midget that I want to add to it, kind of an arsenal to our builds. And then I think what we want to do eventually is jump up to a bigger printer that we can do ABS and carbon printing. So yeah, looking forward to that. So that's why I want to go ahead and get the electronics done. We'll mount the cage tomorrow. We'll start measuring up. I already have some panels cut out from the X-ray Midget that I cut. So I already have a layout for the cage, so that should be no problem. We'll just modify it to fit the camera links in the front for our needs and stuff, and we'll go from there. So we'll pick this up the following day, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, we're back in the shop. It's about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Been working on this card. Let me show you where I'm at with this thing. All right, so as you can see here, is part of the process. I have this cut out in cardboard, both sides. So now I have the thin sheet of plastic. Obviously, I did a couple more fine tuning for it to sit a little bit better, nice and flush. And then we're going to come out with the centerpiece. I'm trying to find my tail tank, but I cannot find it, so we'll have to figure that out here shortly. But yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. It's a couple days later. We are actually in Abilene. I'm in the hotel room. Got the car finished. We'll take a quick glimpse here in a minute. But I'm pretty much going to wrap up the video here. We got the body on. We got everything done. We got everything plumbed. But I'll show a glimpse of the card real quick of how it is. And then in tomorrow's video, or in our next video, we'll take a deeper look into it. And then we'll be at Abilene Four-Way Speedway for their annual brisket bowl. So thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you on the next one.